What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Welcome to the morning bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Yesterday was a difficult day, Jose. Got off to a great start in MLB, and then things started slipping. My belief in Grayson Rodriguez was extremely embarrassing. And then the Vegas Knights down 2-0. Everything looked exactly the way we'd wanted it to start out. Goal 30 seconds in. Ehlers scores back-to-back goals. And then the Knights deliver. And we had cappers on the Knights. Chris Warren, the Goracle, TC, just my 2 cents. I was heavy on the other side. It was a difficult start to the Stanley Cup Finals, Jose. And I'm still a little shook. How was your Tuesday, June 2nd, my friend?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I didn't have much action, so it was pretty easy. I'm looking forward to tonight, though. Obviously, big start of this NBA finals tonight, so that should be a whole lot of fun. Good baseball card. So excited to talk about it with you and our friends in the chat. So shout out to you guys, Midwest Margins, aka Lucas Ryan, TJ, Serious Business, Nuke Worker dropping the Gamma Ray play today, and our guy Stacks, of course, dropping his plays of the day early in here.
Yes, I'm excited to flip the page to Wednesday. Shout out to all the cappers rocking with us. Stacks play today 1 and 2 in business here, copied and pasted. I have noticed that there are some books are being very hesitant to put out the first 5 lines, the first 5 alt lines. It feels like some of these books might be getting hurt or becoming more cautious, or at least taking some L's in some of these first 5 spots. I've never seen 365 so late. I mean, they very waiting. They don't even have a Twins first 5 minus a half line. At least they didn't as of 10 a.m. Pacific on the day of the game. I've never really seen that. Walla Walla Doe, sick from the fall, says, as a dedicated Knicks fan, I think I might want to fade them tonight. No ball, ready to get to work. As you said, serious business in the house. TJ says, rough one last night, boys. Bounce back. Yeah, it was tough. Very, very tough. To see the Hurricanes defense get shredded like that was a surprise. A breadwinner says the Knights winning the club. Slow jams Arsenal. We have missed you. And there's our guy, Midwest Margins, Lucas Ryan. He says, please send some positive energy for my dad, guys, in the hospital the last few days and waiting on some good news this morning. That is a tough spot to be in, worrying about your father. So, yes, absolutely, we can send positive energy and positive thoughts to our friend Lucas Ryan and his dad in the hospital. It's a very difficult situation to handle. So, yes, absolutely, Lucas Ryan. So if everybody can just send some positive energy to the Midwest and to our friend Lucas Ryan, hopefully we get some good news. But Lucas Ryan, you know that you can handle anything that comes your way, anything. And life has twists and turns and can be difficult at times and wonderful at other times. But we send positive energy to Lucas Ryan's father. Walla Walla Dose Nasty Nate. TJ says Jose can afford haircuts now. Yeah, look at the moving in the right direction. BT, we've missed you, BT. Great to see you. Nasty Nate says live over in the Knights game was good money. Excellent work. The Goon Collector, Knicks plus 4.5 is the lock of the day. 462 says tough night in MLB. Saving grace was Vegas. Got Spurs tonight. Huge future on the line. I love to hear all of that. And Midwest Margin, Lucas Ryan said, took the day off so I can be with the pub fam and cap our way through this. Thanks, guys. Oh, we love you, Lucas Ryan. We love you, man. So our thoughts are with you, man. Knights plus 125. Nice work. 9 legacy action is coming in. He's on the tempo plus 10.5. I expected to be on the tempo, but this line just moving immediately and thoroughly towards the Liberty has stopped me in my tracks. Okay, well, we would like to begin the show a little differently here. As our NHL playoff pool at Pub Sports Radio is coming to a conclusion. And Jose, I'd like to walk you through this. So last night, we talked about the pool. I hadn't looked at it in a while as I've been terrible in it. And I saw the Nuke Worker with a 20-point lead. There's the Nuke Workers team. And I was like, man, Nuki, this is going to be nice, man, because you got a huge lead. There's $2,400 in the pool for only 2 people. And then we have the 500 salty bonus from Harbor Acres Cottages on top to the winner. So a huge score waiting for the winner. And you know what Nuke Worker said to me, Jose? He said, "Oh, it's not over yet."
Okay.
And I thought, what a gracious man. And then last night, I after the show, I was upset about the Hurricanes game. We went to a local bar, had a series of beers.
Oh no.
Yeah, I had a series of beers to wash down my anger and sadness. And I came home and I was like, wow, look at that lead. And then I clicked on Peter Loshak's team. Jose, why don't you click on Peter Loshak's team? Oh, no. Oh, no. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players left. So
not ideal.
Not ideal. So Nuke is right. Peter Loshak is on the hunt. Peter Loshak is on the trail here. And Loshak has 5 extra players to cash him 20 plus points and get a huge, huge sum of cash. So yes, and Loshak's coming after me. So it is going to be, we're going to keep an eye on the standings as we get closer and closer to the Stanley Cup final. But this is going to go down to the wire. Peter Loshak on the hunt to win the Harbor Acres Cottages NHL playoff pool. Goon Collector says Loshak has become more accurate since the loss of his mustache. That's a lot of cash here. We're talking a lot of cash available for our winner. And he wasn't just being gracious. There is a Loshak on the hunt. Okay, Jose, let's get to work. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Kristen Hess, great to see you. A coin, Washington, first 5 under 4.5. Nuke Worker on the Spurs, -4.5. Copy and paste all of these. San Francisco 49er, great to see you. Curtis Berry, Ronnie Lofton. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Jose, let's attack this board here. I will continue to copy and paste action. But let's get into this first spot of the day. We've heard already from our guy Coin, who's on the under 4.5 in this one. Washington first 5 under 4.5. Adam Beck in the house. 42nd birthday today, looking for a best bet. And yes, I have a best bet for you. I wouldn't mind talking everything out, but I think I have one that comes to mind immediately. I'm hesitant to say it right now just because I want to talk everything out. So let's do that. But happy birthday, happy 42nd birthday to Adam Beck. And yes, we will have a birthday pick for you. In the honor of Pistol Pete Loshak, who's trying to surpass the Nuke Worker in the NHL playoff pool, we do have a birthday pick for you, Adam Beck, and hopefully we can deliver like our man Peter Loshak. Ramel Davis in the house. Great to see you, Ramel, watching you running nice. Okay, Jose, I'm copying and pasting. Let's get to work here. And let's have a day, man. After yesterday, I need something solid out here on the West Coast. So let's roll.
Let's roll indeed here. And let's go to Marlins Nationals. Like you said, the first game, Andrew Alvarez starting for the Nationals. 3-4 innings maxed here for Alvarez. 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs in his last appearance against the Padres. This is his first start. This is his first start in his major league career. No, he made 5 starts last year. So first start this year, 6th of his career. He's been okay. 4 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 innings, 2 earned runs. Opened up his season with 4 1/3 shutout against the Giants. The Giants were obviously struggling real bad, and they still kind of are. 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs against the Padres last time for Mr. Alvarez. On the other side, we have Max Meyer, who I always want to call Myers, but it's just Meyer, the singular. And he has been doing pretty okay for his season here. His last start, not a good one, 6 innings, 6 runs, 5 of them earned against the Mets. But it was in a back-to-back spot, so we kind of know how that goes for young pitchers. 7 innings, 1 hit ball before then against the Mets. 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned run against the Braves at home, which is very impressive. 5 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs against the Minnesota Twins today. Market in this game, We have 64% of the bets and 59% of the money on Max Meyer and Los Marlins here. And as I refresh one last time to see if we get the most updated numbers here, BetOnline has a dog to favorite flip with Miami going from minus 109 to now Washington is now minus 109, minus 101 for Miami. Minus 110 each way, minus 106 each way for a lot of other places. Jimmy, what do you think?
I had expected to be on Max Meyer. I love backing him. I didn't back him in that second time they were seeing the Peralta Max Meyer matchup that we saw back-to-back spots. I'd expected to back him, and then when we went over his starts, we kept coming back to his difficulty on the road. At home, he's just an absolute bet-on monster. But on the road, last start, Friday, May 29th, now it was tough seeing an opponent the second time, even if that opponent isn't hitting in the New York Mets. Friday, May 29th, 6 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 of which were earned. Then the road start before that at the Twins, May 13th, 5 2/3, 4 earned runs. Allowed 2 homers, 9 Ks though, but 7 hits over 5 2/3. The road start before that was in San Francisco, Oracle Park, which, you have a great pitcher's park and an offense that scares nobody in the Giants offense. You go to the start before that at the Braves, 3 earned runs over 5 innings. I mean, and then we look at these home starts and he's incredible. So with it all said and done, and Goon Collector saying, hold your nose and take the Nationals. I can't back a lefty, especially one that's spent, most of the year AAA Rochester against the Nats, against the Marlins team that's hitting 249, 759 OPS. I can back a Nats team, who's delivering 247, 795 OPS versus righties. Now, you don't get the sense of it from that stat because you don't see the power numbers. The Nats just have great power numbers. And so with it all said and done, I'm just not moving on this first game. I want Max Meyer. AM says Marlins still really struggle with left-handed pitching. I've got really nice numbers, 249, 759 OPS. Not that I'd be very comfortable backing them in that situation. Rod's Wax says, bet over the total in watching games against right-handed starters over his record during 2026, 30-10. Kong's Clips in the house. Nate Dogg on Miami money line. So I'm just off of our first spot. But I would have bet the second game already if I didn't cash in the exact same situation with it yesterday, and I just felt like it was too easy to go to the well. So I'm off game one. I want Max Meyer. This line's moving away from Max Meyer towards the Nationals. Breadwinner, like you, Max Meyer over strikeouts. I'm off of the spot. Let's roll.
All right, next, Nick Martinez, who has been one of the best pitchers in baseball versus the Detroit Tigers here. Nick Martinez, like I said, he's been truly one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. His numbers have been phenomenal, but his underlying numbers, expected ERA, et cetera, all that stuff, all say that he is due for regression, which is fascinating. He's gone 7 innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs last time out, 6 innings, 1 earned run against the Yankees, 6 innings shutout against the Marlins, 5 2/3, 1 earned run against the Red Sox, 5 innings, 1 earned runs against Toronto. Like, he's just been solid all year. But like I said, his numbers are kind of indicating that at some point this is going to take a step back here. And I'll be fascinated to see how that goes. ERA right now is a 1.62. His FIP's a 3.27. So it's not like it's a bad FIP, but it's still much higher. So we'll see how all that unfolds. Minus 145 is where we sit at now at BetOnline. Minus 165 is what it's at, or what it opened up at. Heritage opened up at minus 157. They're down at minus 150 there. And Bovada, minus 147, has not moved. Got down to minus 140, but has come back up to minus 147 there. For this game, we have 72% of the bets and 59% of the money on Tampa Bay here. Well, obviously, Detroit's semi-interesting to me. What do you think, Jimmy?
Well, shout out to Hino Ball. I mean, it was clear that the Tigers were sharp yesterday. Extremely clear. And I was wondering was there going to be any buyback when we got here today. There's been a little bit of buyback, on the Tigers. But it's a similar situation. The Rays have 72% of the tickets, 59% of the cash on them. It's not as dramatic as it was yesterday. Yesterday, the Rays had 93. By the time our 5 p.m. show came, the closing line, which I did for the first time, and I enjoyed it very much. 93% of the tickets were on the Rays and 69% of the cash, and the line was moving towards the Tigers. This is somewhat similar. It's somewhat similar, and it makes me want to back the Detroit Tigers. By the way, we got Steve Fehrenbach in the house, says, man, catching the falling knife with the Rays is so tempting. We have very exciting news at Pub, by the way, as well. The Daily Sesh is back today with both Dutch Boy Fresh and Dabby Cab. And, it's wonderful to have Dutch back rocking, and he's going to need love and support. So really, really excited that the Daily Sesh is back. We'll be right after our show here. Chill Will has a Tampa Bay Detroit Nerfy in his pocket. I think that we just got to trust. Now, Nick Martinez is not allowed more than 2 runs in any start, but you're right, that 4.14 expected ERA sitting there. I'm a huge believer in Troy Melton. I think he's going to be a hell of a pitcher in Major League Baseball. So I think that, yes, the Detroit Tigers should be bet. And I just kind of wanted to sit with it a little longer just because I cashed with it yesterday. So I'm going to add the Detroit Tigers. I think it's pretty clear that it's sharp action on them. And then at some point, Nick Martinez is going to get touched. I mean, he's been absolutely spectacular this year. Shout out to Mark A in the house. Hino Ball says he'll be on the Tigers today again. And so, yes, I'm going to add the Detroit Tigers after the show. And there was a little buyback. Not moving on it was fine. Last night when we did the show, this was down to a plus 124. Now it's plus 131. Opened up at plus 149, though. So, yes, I will add the Detroit Tigers, Jose Bouquet, as soon as the show's over.
All right, that makes sense to me. I'll be fascinated to watch what our guy Nick Martinez does here. Shout out to Dabby Cab, as always. All right, next, we've got White Sox Twins on our slate here. Eric Fetty versus Taj Bradley. Again, 2 pitchers that it really feels like we have been talking about forever at this point. And both, well, not Eric Fetty. He is not young. But Taj Bradley, still a young pitcher in the game here. Fetty, this is his first start since last month on the 17th. He's come out of the bullpen twice, 4 times this year, actually. Seems like they used like a follower role early, but his last 2 were just kind of like long relief appearances, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs on a home run, 3 1/3, 10 hits, 8 earned runs against the Giants. He was just there to definitely eat some shit. But he pitched well against the Tigers, well enough it seems, and now he's got to start here against the Twins. Not a great spot, not a guy I personally want to back right now, I'll tell you that. Versus Taj Bradley, who, was pretty surprising that he's pitching this well, and his numbers are all pretty good. Like all of his stuff plus numbers are over 100, which means all of his pitchers are above average right now. And when the Rays drop off on a pitcher, it definitely makes you question and look at that pitcher sideways. But this is one of those guys that has come out and pitched well so far. He did struggle in his last appearance, 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 Ks, 2 walks. It was probably his second worst start of the year behind a 6 earned run start against the very Tampa Bay Rays that dropped him off. But 5 innings, 1 earned run against Boston, and that was his second start coming off the IL. So I expect a little bit of a bounce back here from Taj Bradley, and the line definitely indicates that with a minus 150 opener. But Bet Online is down to minus 139 here. Pretty big move semi-recently ago here. We have Heritage at minus 147. They opened up at minus 152. So people are liking the White Sox, or at least the books are moving it towards the White Sox. There's 51% of the tickets on the White Sox and 73% of the money on the Twins here, which is fascinating. Maybe Taj Bradley's susceptible. 83 and 86% of the bets and money on the over in this game. Jimmy, what do you think?
I keep a close eye on Eric Fetty. You know that. Shout out to the Goracle. Caboli money line for him on the courts. and gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. We love you, Gorky, my
I haven't
friend.
seen
Thank
my
you.
guy Gorky in forever. Shout out to Gorky. Nice to
The,
see you, Gorky.
the Gorkle. He was on the Vegas Golden Knights last night. Our guy, the Gorkle. A 4th and 1 entertainment in the house as well. That'll be great. I'll copy and paste his action so we can discuss it. Speaking of action, we did accidentally blow past the Nuke Workers gamma ray play today. Is the Rays on the run line in that spot when I'm going to be moving on the Tigers here. Ivan Polo was on the Golden Knights as well. Nice job. That was God, an impressive, very, very impressive performance. Down 2-0. No fear for them. So I don't know Von Polo because I had to go back and watch it last night till like fucking 3 a.m. I don't know yet. I need to sit with it. I mean, the focus is on NBA Game 1 right now and the baseball card, but I got to sit with it for longer. It was tough to watch. But back here, Fetty on the road, Fetty in general. But there's been some spots where Fetty's looked very good at home, where his changeup is working, his off speed is working. And then there's been other spots where he looks like he did last year. Remember, he got passed around the league, Cardinals, Braves, Brewers last year, and nobody wanted to keep him. The White Sox gave him a chance to pitch. Remember, 2024, he was a beast. Now, his expected ERA is lower than that 5.40 ERA. It's 4.58, 1.48 whip. But there's a clear advantage with Taj Bradley going up against Eric Fetty. And you talked about Bradley coming off of the IL, the right pectoral inflammation. So he's got 2 starts under his belt. The first one was quite nice against the Red Sox. The second one was not as good. So for me, I moved. I moved on the Twins first 5 minus a half. I just felt like there was just too big of an advantage for me. I got that first 5 Twins first 5 minus half and minus 112. And I thought that was well within the risk reward. I bet that last night. I wouldn't mind taking a look and see where that is at. TJ talking about the price difference for this. So we have the Minnesota Twins full game at minus 146 at Pinnacle. First 5 at minus 163. That first 5 minus a half at Pinnacle is minus 116. I put mine in a bet online. So, yeah, I think that there's just an advantage, a clear advantage with Bradley versus Fetty. If they use a primary for Fetty, like they have the last start, he looked a little bit better, I guess you could say. But I'm in business here. Twins first 5 minus a half for me, Jose.
All right, Twins first 5 minus a half. I agree. What was the price you got on that as well? Sorry,
minus 112.
That's a good number. That's a good number. Good luck to you, Jimmy. And let's move on to Mets, Marlins, Mariners here. Excuse me. A fun pitching matchup. Maybe my favorite one of the day. As we have Mr. Freddie Peralta versus George Kirby. 2 pitchers I like watching pitch. George Kirby, the accurate ace. Freddie just throwing different fastballs by people. Like all of it. Minus 150 opener at Bet Online is now down to minus 139 for Seattle. Here we have Heritage showing a minus 147. They opened up, actually clicked the wrong game. Excuse me. Clicked the one before that. They opened up at minus 140 and they're up to minus 145 there. Let me double check and refresh there. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, they got up to minus 150 at one point. So that is very interesting there. We have market in this game 57% of the bets, 55% of the money on the Metropolitans here. Interesting. I mean, we kind of know what, again, these pitchers are as of, we've capped them so many times, but I'll tell you that last few starts for George Kirby have not been good. 5 1/3, 4 earned runs, 6 innings, 5 runs, 3 of them earned. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs on those 2 home runs allowed there. Has just not been good in his last few starts for him. And as for Freddie Peralta, 4 2/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, 7, and it was a back-to-back, obviously, as well as you guys can see on screen. Shout out to our guy Swiggy for these nice new graphics. Shout out to you, my man. But yes, Freddie Peralta is just, I don't know. He has not been as dominant this year so far. Obviously, moving to from the Brewers and just what they do with pitching is going to do that to people. But he's still been pretty solid. 4 2/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned in his last start against Miami, but it was a back-to-back. 7 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs before that. 5 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs against New York. Maybe this game is sneaky over. Market in that, by the way, just to give you guys that update here. Actually, we don't have a market in the total yet, so it's interesting. But would like to see what you have to say about this game, Jimmy. Everyone in the chat, shout out to you guys. Let us know what you guys have to say as well. But I leaned over in this game now after just talking it out a little bit. Sneaky over. But what do you think?
Well, I'm with TV Jones, man. I wanted the over in this game. I wanted to focus on the first 5 over. I felt like exactly how you broke this down with Peralta and Kirby, that they don't look as good as they have in the past. I mean, at any given night, I'm sure they could pitch very well, but it just seems like very average pitching from these two starters with names that you would expect excellent pitching from. I'm much higher on George Kirby than others, but I've, with working with me, Jose, that I've always been extremely high on Peralta. And 4 years ago or whatever it was, I told you he's the best pitcher on the Brewers before he really showed out that he was a top flight pitcher. And so I'm with TV Jones, but we're sitting here watching this spot and the line's just moving towards the under. It doesn't mean that I won't be on the first 5 over, but now looking at Penny, they've got that first 5 over 4 at -103. It was juiced to the first 5 over last night. So with that being said, I still want that first 5 over, but I don't really want to go up against the market move. So we have afternoon action today, right? We got to get this day off to a winning start with all these afternoon ball games. We got to get rolling, and I would like to be on this first 5 over, but I'm hesitant. Truth Teller, we love you, man. We'll always be here. So please stop by anytime that you want to get away from anything and cap the card with us, my friend. We love you. We love capping with you. Chill Will's on the under in Mets Mariners. AM says Mariners money line, says he made this Mariners -165, so he took it -142. MMA Locker Room says Kirby been getting smacked the last 5 games. Breadwinner says Peralta will have a good game, but they have no hitters. Robert Cherry on Seattle, first 5 -1/2. So I would like this first 5 over 4, but I'm not sure. I maybe a little touchy from yesterday, but I don't know if I want to go into a market move that's against me. I don't know if I have that conviction. I may not. I may hold off here, but that was the plan. First 5 over. I've got no action at this point.
Fair enough, Jimmy. Can you show me the arsenal? What was the pitching arsenal?
Mine?
Yeah, yours.
Oh man, I just I played in the infield, man. I was the balls didn't get past me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, the vacuum, aka Brooks Robinson, aka Jimmy the Bag here. San Diego Padres versus the Philadelphia Phillies next game on our board. Christopher Sanchez, who's apparently the best pitcher in baseball now after I said I didn't like him. He just turned out to be the best pitcher in baseball, which is hilarious. Versus Walker Buehler, another pitcher that I don't really like or I'm fond of here. If the season ended today, Christopher Sanchez would be your Cy Young Award winner. We'll say that confidently there. -210 is what you're looking at right now at Bet Online. It opened up at 200. Did get down to -180 at one point, which is a little interesting. But it came straight back up to -215. We don't have a market for the total in this game, but we have 56% of the bets, 81% of the money on Christopher Sanchez and company. I mean, look, I'm not going to try to get people to try to back the Padres here against a very good lefty. I'm going to refresh my splits here for my weighted runs created plus against lefties here. From the 17th to today, the Phillies should be against righties. So let me flip that real quick, and then I will go to the Padres there. Phillies against righties, they are dead last. 64 weighted runs created plus against right-handed pitching from the 15th to the 7th, or from the 17th to the today, which is very interesting. As for the Padres, against lefties, 102 weighted runs created plus 167 plate appearances. I'm not saying they're running back the Padres here, but I'm fascinated to see how long Christopher Sanchez's scoreless streak keeps going. I think it's at 44 and 2/3 right now.
Unbelievable.
So I obviously am rooting for that to keep going. But I don't know. I'll be fascinated to see what the Phillies do here against Walker Buehler is what I'm more interested in. If you think that the Phillies have a shot here, excuse me, the Padres have a shot here, first 5+0.5, I'll be very bettable. What do you think here, Jimmy?
Shout out to Nate Dogg 420 in the house. Have a great day, man. Your action is copied and pasted. I have the squarest action possible in this game. Look, Sanchez just keeps delivering. A breadwinner on Padres first 5+1.5. And shout out to Ronnie Crawford in the house. Shotgun play of the day. We have it. It's locked in. We will be.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Ron Crawford for the vocals. It was my first time hearing it, and it sounded great. Shout out to you, Ron.
Yeah, it's now the shotgun play of the day. The shotgun play of the day. So, look. Oh wow, Coins got Sanchez plus 700 in pocket. Breadwinner says regression today. I mean, I imagine that regression from Sanchez will still be better than what Walker Buehler does second time he sees an opponent. But, Walker Buehler's been pretty good with the Marine layer in effect. He's been pretty good at Petco, but this will be different. This won't be easy for him. Steve Fehrenbach says even more reliable at home with that wet field. Love me some under with how inconsistent the Philly bats are this year. Yeah, the stats show that. Breadwinner says Phillies will have a letdown today when they're heavy favorites. They don't cover. I had the single most square action in an Angels game a couple days ago with the first 5-1, and it was it the Soriano versus Freeland? I'm not sure, but I went back to it. I mean, I don't. I mean, it's an embarrassing bet. Honestly, it's an embarrassing bet, but I've gone right back to it here. I'm on the Phillies first 5 -1 at -104. I don't know if we can expect a lot of runs in this game, even if Walker Buehler's not very good. Neither team's hitting it all, but I'm in it. Phillies -1. It felt sick making the bet, but the worst ROI, and I've only bet like a handful in my life I've ever bet, and it was betting the big favorite on a -2 line. That's just being embarrassing and a loser. I don't think this is going to last long, these first 5 -1s, but I'm on here. Sanchez has been absolutely spectacular, unbelievable, trying to pass Grover Alexander for the most scoreless innings in the Philadelphia Phillies uniform. And where did Oral Hershiser get up to? Like 52, probably. But this is going to be tough, seeing the lineup a second time. So Bruce Cotney in the house. Great to see you, Nate Cerna. So I'm here. I'm on the Phillies first 5 -1.
59 innings for Oral Hershiser.
Oh wow.
Yeah, still quite a ways to go, which is insanity. Oh wait, I didn't know Oral Hershiser, not a Hall of Famer. Did not know that. Couldn't believe that. Could be a
Really?
Hall of Famer. Yeah, not a Hall of Famer. Could be a Hall of Famer, everyone. I go ahead and start writing your local congressman and trying to get Oral Hershiser into the Hall of Fame. Did not know that. All right,
wow, yeah, 3.48 ERA, 2,000 strikeouts.
Really, really good start of the career, and then just tailed off.
Yeah, he hit it 3 years, 87, 89, and yeah. Wow, I would have thought he was in. Interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. So very interesting. Again, write your local congressman to get Oral Hershiser into the Hall of Fame. Next, we have Mr. Peyton Tolley and the Boston Red Sox versus Chris Bassett. Sea Breezy. 60% of the bets and 73% of the money on the Boston Red Sox. We will start there with -150, -146 now opener, and where it is now for Bet Online there. So it's very interesting. Slight line movement down towards the Orioles here. My tin hat theory, Jimmy, about some of this stuff is, I'm sure you've seen the MLB PA and all that stuff. They're exchanging offers and all that shit. I mean, Chris Bassett, I need to double check here. Chris Bassett, I believe, is very high up in the MLB Players Association. I think he does like a lot of like negotiating and stuff for them. I'd be interested to see where his head's at. His head is at for all this stuff here. So I don't know. Maybe he's not 100% focused on that and more focused on not having a baseball season next year. As I continue to think that he will not, or we will not have baseball season next year. So let's talk about his recent performances here because he's coming off of a really good one as well. Let me double check here. Yes, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run against his former squad, the Toronto Blue Jays. The rest have been okay to good. 4 1/3, 3 earned runs, 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 innings, 4 earned runs. Been kind of fine. I'm going to be more looking to fade Bassett when it gets a little hotter and it's midsummer and he's up to 100 innings pitched. He's at 153 right now for those keeping track at home. So my plan: wait a little bit to fade Chris Bassett, and then once the hot summer days come, I think he'll start melting out there. What do you think, Jay?
Well, I'm with Von Polo and you. There's certainly not, the season's certainly not going to start on time.
No way.
And I mean, the most powerful teams in baseball are just going to roadblock all of this.
Yep, John Henry is one of the owners that really wants a salary cap.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Cheapskate.
So bad ball, real bad ball.
We have the Stacks play today, number 1, Duran here over 1.5 bases at plus 100. Shout out to our guy Justin McKelvey. Stacks play day number 1 in business. Stacks. And this heavy move to the over was just a little much. I was like, is this just based upon weather? Because it's not that offensive. A plus 9% runs, minus 10% homers, plus 25% doubles and triples, and plus 7% singles. It just felt like this move to the over was just so blatant. Bassett's pitching a little better. Now he's been pitching better on the road. Tolley has great numbers. This went from an 8 to a 9 immediately. So, who is the vulnerable one in this spot? The line's not, moved slightly towards the Orioles. And shout out to Von Polo for catching the Orioles yesterday. Our guy Kong had a scary incident yesterday. That is very scary, man. Mild heart attack. Damn. That is very scary, Kong. We joke about that with the way we live our lives, but that is extremely serious. I'm gonna reach out, man. Thinking about you. Let's do whatever is necessary to get that looked at and taken care of, my man. That's really scary. Our thoughts are with you, buddy. Goon says the vulnerable one to him is Bassett. Yeah, you would think that this line would probably move towards Tolley, right? 2.61 ERA, 0.90 WHIP, 2.20 xERA. Rod's wife said better than the total in Boston games off a loss to a division rival is a favorite on this record since 2025, 11-2. So I just didn't move on this game. Even though I wanted to. TV Jones saying, look at Bassett's road versus home splits. Yeah, I mean, I think just generally speaking, he has been bad until May came along. And even when May started out, he wasn't that good. But, he's had some okay road starts. That Friday, April 17th, doesn't allow running 5 innings at the Guardians.
His home road ERA is hilarious.
I mean, he's had these good starts at home of recent. That last one at home versus the Jays was a thing of beauty. Obviously, he had some pent-up aggression against that squad. I think he's going to just start pitching better, honestly. I think he's just going to start pitching better. And there is our guy 462 for life saying had a quadruple bypass at 49. Says don't hesitate, get that checked as soon as possible. Those are very important words of advice from our friend 462. With all of this said and done, I'm off the game. If the Red Sox have this enormous bullpen advantage. As we saw with the graphics, 2.57 ERA, 1.12 whip over the last 30 days, while Orioles are 5.5 through 1.52 whip. The Red Sox have an enormous advantage with the way they're hitting righties compared to the Orioles versus lefties. Red Sox 253, 709 OPS, Orioles versus lefties 211, 609. The Red Sox at home, Orioles on the road, Bassett on the road. This line's not moving towards the Red Sox. Maybe you could say it's the opening line that is the signal that the Red Sox can be paid. And if you feel that way, that's fine. With it all said and done, and TV Jones explaining why this line moved towards the over so heavily, I'm off the spot. I don't feel like this is that easy, and I do expect Bassett to continue to pitch better, because as you see from his home and road splits, you're also seeing him. His numbers look more improved as each month goes by. He got off to a rough start. And this guy, has put up 600 innings basically last 3 years. 5.06 ERA, 1.58 whip, 4.64 xERA. And Philly Eagle Flyer tied after 2. We have his tied after 2 action. I'm going to copy and paste it. So I'm off the spot, Jose. I'm off the spot.
The bet I wish I had the most after first 3 is Philly Eagle Flyers tied after 2 bets. Love those bets. Up to you, Philly Eagle Flyer. Yankees Guardians. Next game on our board here.
Just before we move on, our guy Von Polo from Charm City, who cashed the Orioles yesterday, he's on the Red Sox today. So he's fading Bassett on the road. All right, let's roll.
Fair enough. By the way, I'll say the Red Sox at Fenway Park, horrible record. Horrible. So just make that note of what you will. It's starting to become a thing as well. Coaches are being asked about it. Isaiah Connor-Falefa, I don't know, you probably didn't see this, Jimmy. He said, like, I couldn't believe he said this. He was like, oh yeah, on the road we're close-knit, like tight group, and then we come home and we have just a lot of people. We're seeing a lot of people, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, Isaiah?" And he's just basically saying that like they have distractions at home and they're not fully invested. And I'm like, "Oh boy, Jesus." Okay, well, we'll see what happens today after that quote. So can't wait. Thank you. Yeah. All right, Yankees versus Guardians. We have a fat ass on the mound versus Gavin Williams here. Tubby has been pitching pretty well since returning. I'll tell you guys his stats right now, unfortunately. So, and Jimmy, I'd like to this is a me and you conversation now. People in the chat, please mute this. Do not listen to the next 35 seconds of the show. Thank you. Yankees have a really good chance of winning the World Series.
There's that fucking whisper again that Helga goes wild for.
Them to make the World Series.
Hey, baby, take that shirt off. Yeah, stroke the balls.
I think the Yankees are a great World Series bet, right?
You sound like a gremlin, man. What the hell are you gonna do with that, man?
All right, back to
Stroke the balls.
I sound like the person from Monsters Inc. Shout out to that lady, Yzma. I don't remember. We're always watching, Wazowski. We're always watching.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but stroke the balls.
Show Ella and Carter Monsters Inc. They'll go crazy. So speaking of crazy, Tubby coming back. This is his third start back here. 6 2/3, 4 hits, no walks, no earned runs, 10 strikeouts. Tubby was feeling it against a really bad Royals team. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 2 Ks against Tampa Bay in his first start. Yeah, I mean, he's been solid, unfortunately. No, well, we know he's not been solid because he's a fat ass and he's got a tummy bursting out of his belt buckle now. But he's been pitching well. Gavin Williams on the other side, and by the way, fascinating game yesterday to watch. Cam Schittler get crushed yesterday. Hated to see that. But 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 8 innings shutout in his last 2 starts, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. And that was Washington Nationals, who are a good hitting squad, Philadelphia Phillies, and the Cincinnati Reds in his last 3. Got touched up against the Minnesota Twins as well, 4 starts back. 6 innings, 10 hits, 5 earned runs there. Line has trickled down a little bit towards the Guardians here, minus 155 to minus 152 there. Market in this game, 58% of the bets and 66% of the money on the Cleveland Guardians. If someone has action, I'd love to know what those numbers are at because I'd assume they're more on the Yankees. But if people are actually betting on a Tubby and Gavin Williams and the Guardians here, I'd be a little surprised. What do you think?
I am on the TJ special here. Gavin Williams went up against Christopher Sanchez 2 starts back when Sanchez was, unhittable. So was Gavin Williams. 11 strikeouts, was the better pitcher. Gavin Williams steps up in these situations. I expect him to step up here. The TJ special, Guardians first 5 plus a half. I got that at minus 120 last night. Still widely available at the nice price. Seeing it right now at minus 122 at Penny. Garrett Cole's been very good. There's no getting around that. He's been extremely good. But so is Gavin Williams. And as Goon Collector saying, Judge not going to be in the lineup. I feel very comfortable with this spot. Gavin Williams just loves these opportunities. And what better opportunity you get than the Bronx against Garrett Cole, and number 99 is not in the lineup for the Yankees. So Guardians first 5 plus a half for me. Rodswag says bet on Gavin Williams and road starts on the money line after giving up under 2 earned runs last 2 outings. Williams team records in 2025 season 5-0. TV Jones says under. Yankees cannot touch right-handed pitching and shitty right-handed pitching dealing versus them. Under City 3-2 final. AM says worrying about Gavin Williams on the road. I mean, I know that you get biased when you see this stuff, but that was on the road and he was absolutely spectacular. Amazing. 8 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 11 Ks, no walks, no 1-0 win at the Phillies. I just think he steps up in these situations. I do love backing him at home. There's no doubt about that. But then we were talking, T. Jones talking about the under. Let's take a look here at the expectations of Yankee Stadium. Minus 12% runs, minus 2% homers, minus 18% doubles, triples, minus 9% singles. I mean, I think that makes sense. I added the unders after the 5 p.m. show. I had so much fun doing the 5 p.m. show. I added the Pirates money line, but then I added some losers, and it cost me a winning day in baseball, actually, the 5 p.m. show, but I won't hold it against. But let's take a look at this total because, I think both these pitchers pitch really well here today. There's been a 15-cent move to the over. It's an uncomfortable thing to bet into. Maybe it's a vividness bias from what everybody saw, or a recency bias from what everybody saw yesterday. But I'm comfortable here. And AM saying the road start before that. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But the last 3 starts for Gavin Williams, he has pitched 21 innings in those 3 starts. He's allowed 3 earned runs. He has struck out 22 and walked 2. So I'm very comfortable here. Very, very comfortable. So Guardians first 5 plus a half, the TJ special. I bet it last night, minus 120, still widely available.
All right. I'm going to join you, minus 125 for me, betting against old Tubby over there. And, if he has his 2 pieces of fried chicken before the start, maybe he'll do well. We'll see. But I don't trust, old big bones over there either. But we won't talk about what I said in the whisper segment, but I don't hate that action if people are trying to make whatever.
Oh yeah, that's real nice.
That's what Helga hears. Yeah. And she likes it somehow.
I doubt it.
Reds Royals. Let's talk about Kolek, who I have taken a liking to, but he unfortunately is matched up with Chase Burns, who every time I see Burns, I want to say Corbin, but is in fact their guy Chase Burns here. Now, there was a big spike up in this line at Bet Online from 253 to 405, 20 cents forward from minus 115. It's 135. I'm assuming that's a pitcher change related type thing, Jimmy. I'm not sure if Chase Burns was supposed to make this start all along, but let's say minus 115 opener gets to minus 135, gets to minus 145, and we're sitting at minus 152 right now. bet online here. Heritage at minus 157. They opened up at minus 136 here. And it just climb. Now, the Royals have just been one of the more disappointing teams in baseball, at least for me, especially because I thought this team could have a chance in the division, and they just cannot hit. They don't have a closer. They don't have a bullpen. And their pitching is not inspiring either. It's gone up, though. There's no market information in this game, unfortunately. So I'll just pass it to you, Jimmy. Any action on this game?
I have invested heavily in this game. I know that books don't make mistakes, really. But I had thought Chris Paddock was pitching here, and then of course we find out Chase Burns is pitching. They said they were going to give him the week off. He was supposed to pitch 2 days ago, and he was sick in that one. And that saved me. I mean, if I could have used my Pinnacle account, I would have been screwed on that game. So that not having the Pinnacle account out here actually helped me in that regard because I got to avoid the bet. But here, I just didn't think the line was changing fast enough. It didn't make sense to me. The line just didn't make sense to me. Now, I think that Kolek is capable of having a good start. And I went off last night. Like, I got burnt by Sanchez maybe his fourth start into this scoreless string. He just thrown like 108 pitches, and Mattingly said he's going to be very careful with Sanchez. And I was like, I think he's going to go under his outs. That move towards the under outs in that game, like I beat the line by 30 or 40 cents. And it was another spectacular start by Sanchez. I lost 2 bets. And then I didn't do the same bet when Kolek had thrown 108 pitches. He hadn't thrown more than 94 in either of his first 3 starts in that complete game on Saturday, May 23rd at home versus the Mariners. And, TJ faded him after that start, and I didn't because of the cognitive bias that I had because Sanchez had screwed me. I'm never going to let that happen again. But I expect Kolek to bounce back here. He's a really good pitcher. He looked excellent in his rehab starts at AAA Omaha. He was just late on the year because of the oblique injury. So I think he's going to be good. It doesn't matter if I think he's going to be good. Chase Burns, I mean, if Sanchez doesn't continue the scoreless streak, because Chase Burns would be the Cy Young winner in the NL. He's been absolutely spectacular. So I moved on 4 bets here. I moved on KC Cincinnati first 3 under 2.5 at minus 125. It's now minus 150. I moved on the full game under 8.5 at minus 110. I now see some 8s on the board. I moved on the Reds first 5 minus a half. I mean, I understand that Burns Kolek is a really good pitcher, and can hurt me here. But I mean, it's just been cashing on all of Chase's starts here. I'd like to see what it is right now over at Penny. I'm not able to use Penny, but I think it's just a good idea I am when I'm in Toronto, obviously. But let's just see here. We have the first 5 minus a half for the Reds. It's still where it's gone 1 cent against me. I got minus 115. It's minus 114. And I'm also on the Reds minus 1. Even that, I was like, look, I just feel like I have this advantage. TJ says, why is this still an 8.5? I mean, I don't think it will be come playoff time, come first pitch. I think this will be an 8. And I do see 8s here. I see 8s. I guess not enough of them. Bookmaker with an 8. My bookie with an 8. Heritage is going to be there soon. So am I falling for this trap? I mean, because I have a heavy investment in this baseball game. Rodswag says, bet against Kansas City on the money line after a one-run loss. Kansas City's record during 2026, 0-11. So 4 bets for me here. I've moved heavily unders and back in Chase Burns. And I think Chase Burns has just been printing money for us. I'm not going to stop. And if I don't get paid for the first 5, I believe it's going to be catching the first 3 under and covering all that because Kolek pitches well. It's not like Burns. I don't expect Burns to get touched up here. So 4 bets for me, Jose.
All right. Well, Jimmy the Bag will be very invested in this game, so I can't wait to watch and track. We've got.
But one thing here, Dad Fence says can't play unders in the ballpark, but he's on Reds big. Great American Ballpark, plus 2% runs, plus 0% homers, minus 6% doubles and triples, and plus 1% singles. So if we go to weather only at Great American Ballpark, today. And it's not that big of a deal, but minus 7% runs, minus 14% homers, minus 8% doubles and triples, plus 2% singles. So I'm comfortable with the spot.
Fair enough. Weather day at Great American. Braves, Blue Jays next on our board here. We've got Corbin versus Grant Holmes. And wouldn't you know, old Patrick Corbin has been pretty good for the standards that we expect from him. It's funny, it's obviously as soon as he's off the Nationals and off of that, contract that everyone knew was garbage, he goes to another team, low money deal. He just no pressure, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 innings, 3 earned runs against the Yankees. That's a tough one. 4 1/3, 3 earned runs against the Rays. That's a tough one, especially because it was a back-to-back against the Rays here. But 2 earned runs, 1 earned run from Patrick Corbin. You're dancing in the streets. So I'm pretty impressed with with what he has done this year. It's been surprising. Grant Holmes. I mean, look, I'm surprised that every time the Braves have another pitcher come up and and him making solid. Grant Holmes is like the original version of that. He's been in the majors for 3 years now, and when he first came up, I was like, nah, no way. And now he's just been pretty solid pitcher overall. So 4 innings, 3 runs against the Cincinnati Reds at the Reds. 5 innings, 2 earned runs against the Nationals, 10 Ks, 2 strikeouts, and 6 innings shutout against the Red Sox at home. It's a tough game for me to try to parse here, Jimmy. I think the Braves are obviously the second or third best team in the National League. There we have market information. If I can find it, there we go. Minus 143 is now minus 141 for the Braves. It's a little expensive, but I mean, I get it. I get it still. That is at Bet Online here. Just do a quick check of Heritage there at minus 147. Open at minus 143. Excuse me. Yes, minus 143 opener, and then that got up there with 86% of the bets, 94% of the money on the Braves here. Playoff game for me. What do you think here? And we also have Taint as well. Shout out to Taint.
Honestly, if I didn't read that about Taint, I would be. I mean, 86% of tickets, 90% of cash on the Braves. I'd be line not moving. Now, yesterday we had a similar situation in the Tigers game, but the line was moving. Now this line's not moving. If we didn't hear that Taint was in the house, I'd be on the Jays here. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know what Holmes is going to do from start to start. I think his elbow is, partial UCL tear, flexing tendon tear in his elbow late last year. He could have had Tommy John. They wanted him to have Tommy John. He didn't have it. Then he takes this mental and physical reset after that start May 1st. He's struggling going deep into games. He's allowed 4 home runs in his last 2 starts. And Corbin is pitching really well right now. But Taint on the other side. Taint says Braves double result. Albies, Acuna, Olsen, Riley all smash. Corbin, Braves smash, says our guy, Matty Ice. Rod Zawacki says bet against Holmes on the money line when playing against a marginal losing team. Winning percentage 46 to 49%. Holmes team record since 2025 0-6. So Rod Zawacki said Jays are pass. I don't want to go up against Taint. I don't think that's so if it wasn't on my card already, I'll just stay off of it. But I'll keep the Jays with the question mark, and I've got Taint there, so I know why I didn't move on it. And Matty Ice says these top 4 hitters in Atlanta's lineup are 40 for 109 at bats against them. Okay, so
it's not good that the Braves will obviously see them a ton.
Yeah, no, that's true. He's pitching at a high level, but no, you're absolutely right. So I'll just stay off the spot comfortably because the next game, I think, is my birthday pick for Adam Beck. So let's roll.
All right, Mr. Beck, let's find out if it is indeed your birthday pick, because we have Milwaukee versus the Giants, excuse me, I'm seeing UDCs for the Brewers here. Let me check at the books here one time here, but I'm seeing undecided pitcher versus Mr. Logan Webb, who is pitching well. I'm seeing a C. Crow. Is that Cameron Crowe, the actor? Is
No,
that an actor?
Coleman Crow. Coleman Crow. We talked a little bit about him. I'll keep rolling, but I like the kid. He 28th round pick out of high school. Don't see a lot of those guys make the show and make it so quickly. Out of Pike County High School in Georgia. No, Justin McKelvey knows that school. So it's Coleman Crow, he looks like the real deal. And of course, any pitcher that the Brew Crew believe in, we should also believe in. But keep rolling, Jose.
Yes, yes. And by the way, Justin, I think the Brewers are the second best team in the National League. Justin, sorry to do that to you. If it was Brewers Braves in a series right now, I would be betting on the Milwaukee Brewers, in my humble opinion. Now we will have to see if Kyle Harrison can make it through all season. But Coleman Crowe here, born in 2000, by the way, just to make everyone feel old here. 3 starts in the majors, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, but 2 of them earned. 1 walk, or excuse me, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, no walks, and 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk here. So not many strikeouts so far in the majors, but very interesting that all of his starts have been on the road here so far. So this will be his first home start. We'll see if it's a different vibe, different energy for him here. Just checking his minor league strikeout numbers, 5, 4, 7, 5. He's not a big strikeout guy, obviously. So we'll see how that all will play here. Indeed, I'm fascinated to see that. If you look at his stuff plus numbers as well, Coleman Crowe, 118 curveball. That is very good. And 128 slider. That is also very good. And to make that even better, all of his location pluses are over 100. His slider location plus, 129. It's a small sample size through 3 starts. I get it. But if you're throwing a pitch that is 28% better than the league average and you're locating it 29% better than league average, it's a dangerous pitch right there. So I'll be fascinated to see how the Giants operate here against him. He's a righty, for those who don't know here. So just to peruse best team against righties in the last month-ish, Francisco Giants, 129, weighted runs created plus is the 3rd best in baseball here. Milwaukee, in that same time span, they're 8th, 113 weighted runs created plus there. So very interesting, very interesting. I'll be watching this game. I'll be watching Coleman Crowe, who I'm going to be calling Cameron Crowe in my head for a long time. Well, what do you think, Jay?
Trevor, TV Jones been delivering here in the series. Brewers run line and Brewers plus 113 on the series. And he's on the over 7.5 today. Says Giants versus right-handed pitching. Brewers bullpen used to be yesterday. Webb hasn't been sharp. Runs stay on both sides. Logan Webb is one of my favorite pitchers. And I've watched him really closely over the years. And I don't think that he had knee bursitis I think they just kind of made that up. He needed a reset. So he has 24 days off between starts. And I think he starts shoving. In the thin air of Colorado, 4 1/3, he let 3 hits and 1 earned run. I think he starts shoving. It wasn't any kind of arm ailment at all. It was just a physical, mental reset. And I expect him to start delivering. I expect Coleman Crowe to be out there. Maybe they use an opener for Coleman Crowe. And I mean, the price difference for the first 5 in full game, it tells me that Logan Webb is going to shove here. And I expect him to do just that. I am on the Giants' first 3 and first 5. That first 3 has moved 5 cents against me, which is not a good sign. I got the first 3 at plus 115, the first 5 at plus 105. I think he's going to shove here. If we look at a price difference, or is they not? Yes, price difference here at Penny. They got the Giants plus 132, first 5 plus 104. 28-cent difference there. The also, with a situation where you got a dog that's at plus 132 for the full game, you would think, well, what's that first 5 plus a half at? How much difference could it be? The first 5 plus half is minus 136 at Penny. I mean, that's just huge. So and Nutflush says he's heavy on the first 5 San Francisco. I think Logan Webb is bet on, and one of the things that we get the opportunity of doing to succeed in Major League Baseball betting is when we believe that we have an advantage because the numbers aren't telling the story, and the numbers are what everyone's looking at. And I think that we're ahead of the curve here. I think we're ahead of the market. I think if you bet Logan Webb to deliver in every start over the next while, you're going to get paid out. So I am on the Giants first 3 and the Giants first 5, and I will give my birthday pick, plus money birthday pick, to Adam Beck, and it is the San Francisco Giants first 5. Look, I haven't talked to Nutflush this morning or late last night. Unfortunately, I did get him on the Hurricanes, so I feel guilty. But hearing him that he's the Giants whisperer, he's heavy on Giants first 5. Logan Webb delivers. Giants first 3 and first 5, and Giants first 5 plus 105 is the birthday pick for Adam Beck.
Hey, good luck, Adam. Happy birthday to you, my guy. And we roll on to our next game here. Texas Rangers, St. Louis Cardinals here. Excuse me, Palante versus Mackenzie Gore. Fun game here, I guess. Teams that have similar-ish records. Interesting pitchers. I like Mackenzie Gore, but the market today does not like him. I'll tell you that. Minus 112 Cardinals is what we're sitting at BetOnline. It opened up at minus 107 Rangers here. So that is definitely not a good sign there. Heritage minus 116. Palante opened up at minus 111 Cardinals there. Out of curiosity, let's go ahead and check a first 5 line here. Minus 115 Palante at BetOnline. It opened up right there, minus 120 Bovada. I mean, that's fascinating to see. Honestly, I leaned Rangers just based off the pitching matchup, and the market is obviously keeping me off of that here. Texas Rangers have, let's see, there's actually the Cardinals have 67% of the bets and 81% of the money on them here. So I guess that can be explanation to why the line is moving so much, but it kind of feels like one of those lines that it's there for a reason. I feel like it should move on the Cardinals, but what do you think, Jimmy?
I was right with you. My plan was to be on the Rangers first 5 in full game. This line move towards the Cardinals was tricky to deal with. Palante, I found Palante tricky to deal with throughout his career. 4.19 ERA, 1.34 WHIP, 3.85 xERA. Rangers bullpen has looked troublesome of late, as you can see from the graphics. Over the last month, Rangers bullpen 4.09 ERA, 1.40 WHIP. If we go back to April, the Rangers had the best bullpen throughout April. So they're falling off. The Cardinals bullpen's been really good. Last 30 days, 3.02 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. The Rangers are hitting righties hard. The Cardinals aren't hitting lefties. I thought this sets up for a great Mackenzie Gore start. But this line move towards Palante will tell me different, so I'll stay off of that. And then the next question is, well, if they're telling us that Palante is going to have a good start, would that mean that the under is in play? Because I like Mackenzie Gore, and I think he can deliver here despite being on the road. And we have this dropping down to 8 from 8.5. So maybe that's what I've missed with the Rangers bullpen not pitching very well. Maybe this is a first 3 under. Let's see what the price difference is on that first 3 under here for this one. So we talked about that the Reds spot, the under 8, it was 8.5, and the other first 3 under 2.5 was minus 125. Made no sense to me at all. So I bet it's minus 150 now. So that feels good. And that total is 8.5 right now at 365 minus 115 to the under. this total is an 8.5 minus 125 to the under. So it should be a -1 at a minimum. I mean, I guess it should be more than that. This should be almost this. If you compare it to that Reds first 3 under, this that's now -150. This should be so low that you have to use a first 3 under 2 for. And the first 3 under is a pick 'em at -120. That's wild. That's wild. So this is a half run higher, right? This total is 10. It's 10 cents. Sorry, just 10 cents. The under 8.5 minus 120. So it's 10 cents more expensive for the under, full game under, and then it's 30 cents cheaper for the first 3 under. The last time you said this, Jose, you were right yesterday on that first 3.
Oh yeah, did that cash?
It cashed, but the full game didn't go over. But the first 3 went over. Wow.
Is this another spot where you have to bet the under because the overs are ridiculous?
No, this is a spot where I think that the first 3 over, if I should start betting these spots, the first 3 over. We
talked about this last year, I believe, too.
Yeah, but I've been hesitant to bet them because it goes against the original thought process. But you were right yesterday, and you're probably right here again. Why would it be?
I remember this happening last year for whatever reason, too, when I was sort of like, oh, the market, well, that's a weird spot. You should probably bet it. And then I was betting something. Oh, it was the year fees. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Like on these spots, you should just bet it. You should take a year fee, which I won't take here today, but maybe it'll be an interesting spot here as well. So
first 3 over 2.5. I mean, it just. I'm surprised that this is where we are at. Busch Stadium -7% runs, -20% homers, +2% doubles and triples, and +4% singles, which would probably mean that it's pretty good weather for offense, and it is. If it's just weather only, -1%, so it's -11% homers and +7% doubles and triples. Wow. I think I've got to start making these moves. I mean, I study the first 3s too closely to not see. I mean, can you imagine this full game totals 10 cents more expensive than the Reds? And then the first 3 under 2.5 years -120, and it's -150 in the Reds game. Wow. All right, I guess I'll bet the first 3 over 2.5. I got to start putting my money on these spots. I can't just talk about them. They cashed like yesterday, like you said, Jose. So, Jose, let's roll on. Let's speed up a little bit because we need to be able to talk NBA, and we only have you for 17 more minutes. So let's speed up.
Let's speed up here. Go to Cubs A's here. Fun matchup here. Colin Ray versus Jeffrey Springs. 70% of the bets, 81% of the money on the Chicago Cubs here. Because boy, are they cheap here, Jimmy. God, this feels like, oh, come bet the Cubs. Yes. Come bet the Cubs at this cheap price at home. He's Jeffrey Springs. He stinks. -125 opener, got down to -121, is up to -130 now. It is A's or nothing for me in this game. Why is this so cheap, Jimmy? I get the Cubs have been bad, but still, why is this so cheap?
Well, the Cubs against left-handed pitching, and when that graphic comes up, it's astonishing. Look at that drop. I mean, they're not hitting anything. Colin Ray's been pitching better. My question was, why the hell was this a 9? It makes no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. I could have built a first 3 under 3. The whole thing just made no sense whatsoever, and I'm not going to bet it. It should not have been a 9. Now, it's slightly moving now to 8. There's some 8.5s. It's starting to get juiced a little bit. The 9 was insane to me. Absolutely insane. So I'm not going to sit back and say, oh, that's a gift. Right now at Ballpark Pal with combined effect for Wrigley, it's -9% runs, -5% homers, -13% doubles and triples, -3% singles. Weather-wise, it's just barely negative. It's just the ballpark at that point. And then, the A's, I think you have to trust the fact that you have Jeffrey Springs on the mound and the Cubs are hitting lefties. But again, and Nutflesh, there's nothing going on here. The wind, it's not blowing out. None of this makes any sense. If it's weather only here at Wrigley, it's -3% runs, -4% homers, -3% doubles, triples. It's negligible. So I can't understand why it's a 9. And then with saying that, why wouldn't I be on Jeffrey Springs' first 5, A's first 5? TJ says A's have scored a total of 1 run against the last 5 right-handed starters. So why would it be a 9, TJ? It makes no sense at all. It just doesn't make any sense at all, and I'm not going to take it as a gift. Maybe it will end up being a gift, but I'm not going to take it as a gift. So, it. And Colin Ray's pitching well right now. These last couple starts would be nice. So, I guess I should just stay off. Why isn't Jeffrey Springs here more expensive first 5 against a team that can't hit lefties? And it's because Colin Ray's pitching well. But then why is this total a 9? Like the whole thing is perplexing. So I'm not sure what to do. Nutflush says it sounds like they're telling us Ray gets smacked. If they were telling us Rays get smacked, then wouldn't there be a price difference here? I mean, look, the Cubs are minus 124 full game. First 5 they're minus 124. And they're not saying that there's an advantage there with the A's. Shout out to Jose Perez in the house. Goon Collector on the first 5 under. Trevor on the A's. Robert Franklin on the A's. I guess I'm just going to have to stay off of the spot at this point. But it's a later start, 8:05, so I'll have some time with it. But I have the unders, first 3 under, full game under in the A's first 5, and I haven't bet any of them. Rod's Wacky says Cubs go off. Well, if the Cubs go off, why is this line not moving towards them? I'm off of the spot.
All right, next game on our board here, Houston Astros, Pittsburgh Pirates. It is always funny to see now as a Texas resident, the Astros as underdogs against these interesting teams. But at least today it's Paul Skeens versus Spencer Arrighetti here. Man, this would be a fun game to go to. But minus 131 opener, minus 147 now at Bet Online. Which is obviously a huge change there. Minus 154 is where it's at now. It opened up at 53 at Heritage. So the line definitely has moved at Bet Online there, opening up super early as it typically does here. And for bet percentages here, as I scroll on down, 70% of the bets and 80% of the money on the Houston Astros on this game. Wow. What do you think about this game?
Well, I think it's very easy to sit back and say Arrighetti can pitch with Skeens. Arrighetti's having a better season than Skeens. I think it's now we know Arrighetti walks too many batters, but he's been simply spectacular. He's only had 1 start where he's allowed more than 1 earned run. Come on. That's incredible. He's been absolutely incredible. He's not had a start where his team didn't win the baseball game. The guy's just being unreal. Now, the Pirates are raking versus righties, 265, 790. The price difference for Skeens is so massive. I mean, I thought that the Astros first 5 plus a half, was a bet to make here. But, Pirates are minus 149 full game. First 5, they're minus 169. You can get the Astros first 5 plus a half of minus 105, which is what I want to do. And Jeff Slaughter in the house says, how about those scrub-ass Hurricanes last night? That one stung, Jeff. It stung. Sweaty Butcher, great to see you, Sweaty Butcher. We are also 42 minutes away from the Daily Sesh. Dutch Boy Fresh back in action. Very important for everybody to support him and the show today. This just doesn't make sense to me, man. Like I mean, look at the last few starts for Skeens. I mean, he was better in the last start, 1 earned run over 5 1/3, still walked 3 batters, allowed 3 runs. There was some bumbling defense behind him. The 2 starts before that, 9 earned runs over 10 innings. I mean, we're expecting he went up against Colin Ray. That was Colin Ray that outpitched him. So look, I mean, is this? What do you make of this, Jose? I mean, how do we not bet Arrighetti first 5 plus a half? And then when I say that, you go right into the cash flow. And this cash flow is, sorry, I thought I had it up here. Can you go over the cash flow one more time?
70% of the bets on the Astros, 80% of the money on the Astros.
So they're seeing it the same way I'm seeing it. And the books are smiling and giving you a better line to bet it. So I guess the best thing for me to do is to stay off. Dipped in Dips, thank you for the kind words. Josh Witt back in business with us. Josh, it's great to see you. Josh had surgery yesterday. We sent him positive healing energy. Our guy, Josh Witt, back in business with us. It's great to see you. So, look, maybe I'm very pensive after what, yesterday and just being so wrong on Grayson Rodriguez and being so wrong on the Carolina Hurricanes. But I'm seeing it the same way the public is seeing it. And the books are smiling at us. So I should probably stay off of this game. And I have lots of action. So at this point, I'm very uncomfortable. 80% of tickets, 80% of cash, seeing it just like me that Eric Getty's pitching in his off-speed stuff is absolutely elite right now. And we can get him plus a half at minus 105. It just, I mean, we talked about the Logan Webb start. Logan Webb plus a half is minus 136. It's just, TJ says books aren't respecting Houston money. Said I would put the total I would put at 7.5, juiced under, so that's odd. Leaning to Pitt team total over, cheaper than Pitt money line. I guess that makes sense. I'm going to take some time with it, man. Josh, great to have you back in business with us, man. And Turnbuckle Tommy, Guardians first 5, Reds first 5, Giants first 5 are the biggest price differences for full game of first 5, and that's only at MGM. So I'm off the spot. I see it the same way the public and the books are just fucking smirking at us. So let's roll on, Jose. We got to be quick. We got to talk basketball.
Yep, shout out to you, Josh. Nice to see you. Rockies, Angels, Walber Reina versus Michael Lorenzen. I've told you that Walber Reina is going to be a pitcher that you like because his his changeup is disgusting. We will see if that translates today. 52% of the bets, 65% of the money on Lorenzen and the Rockies here. Line's not moving, though. What do you think?
Well, I was very wrong about Grayson Rodriguez. It was tough. Very, very, very tough. And Robert Cherry says, my mom said, thank you for the love and healing energy from the entire crew here at Pop Sports Radio. Yeah, it's important, man. It's something that life can be tough out there. So it's important to know that the people care about you. And we care about the Cherry family, Robert. We care about Josh Witt. We care about Dutch Boy Fresh. And that's why we're all going to be at the daily sesh here in a minute. So, look, I was very wrong about Grayson Rodriguez. I'm going right back to the well with Walbert Urena. We have Justin McKelvey, Stacks Play Day. Number 2 is Angels Rockies over 8.5. I'm going right back to the well here. Michael Lorenzen, 7.22 ERA, 1.90 whip. He's got a 5.86 xERA. He just looks vulnerable. Urena looks excellent, especially at home. He's been great on the road. He's just been excellent. So, and Big Drip James says Skeens tax not worth it. He's a fade until he's back to the old Skeens. I need to see it until then fade. I don't know. This one makes me uncomfortable, Big Drip. I think I'd prefer just to stay off, but I get your angle here. But I'm on the Angels first 5 minus a half. I'm on the Angels full game -1. I'm going right back to the well with reckless abandon, man. First 5 minus a half, -115. Full game -1 at -104. The price difference here at Pinnacle, Angels are -145. Full game, first half are -156. Maybe that's not enough. That first 5 minus half is -110. And TJ says he must be a sick man. He says, if I bet the Angels third straight time and lose, something's wrong with me. Look, I'm doing it. Angels first 5, Angels full game, -1.5 and -1. Urena, I expect him to deliver. And I need Lorenzen to pitch like Michael Lorenzen. So that's the plan. Double upside for me.
By the way, changeup stuff plus for Walber, only a 94, but location plus 128, pitching plus, which is a combination, 133 plus. Absurd. Next game on our board here is our GOAT, our Lord and Savior, Shohei Ohtani pitching. Once again here, 82% of the bets and 78% of the money on him here against Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks have been playing well. They're always a team that I want to make the playoffs. I think they could do well. They can go far, but they just are in a tough division. And when they've got Zach Gallen not pitching the way Zach Gallen used to pitch, it makes it even tougher. 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 home runs allowed against the Mariners. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs against the Rockies. All of his stuff plus numbers are below 100. He's locating pretty good, which is good for him because he wouldn't be in the majors if that was the case. But not a pitcher I want to back. The line is moving towards him, though. So shout out to him. -195 is now -186 at Bet Online. What do you think?
It's just a surprising move towards Gallen. Maybe the Dodgers were just, too expensive in this spot, but I was surprised to see it. They're telling us that Gallen is going to pitch well. Or well enough to keep them in the game. And yet this total opens up at 7.5. It's a 9 now. And it's just insane. So, Nate Cernan saying Lorenzen 5-1 to the over. I think Urain is going to shove personally, but so I'm off this spot, man. The line maybe. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised the line. I'm surprised it's skyrocketing to the over. It's skyrocketing to the over and not skyrocketing to the Dodgers. So it means that Ohtani's going to allow more than one run. Diamondbacks are only hitting 226, 653 OPS versus righties. So we need you to talk NBA, Jose. So I'm off of the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, at least at this point. We can revisit it on the. I guess we can't because it starts 20 minutes before the night show gets here. So we'll hear Peter Loshak talk about it on the closing line. Maybe Dabby Cab's got action on the Dodgers Diamondbacks game in Daily Sesh, but I'm off of this spot. Jose, please review your MLB action for Wednesday, June 3rd.
2 bets, Giants first 5 plus 105 because Jimmy put a gigantic bulbous sack out there, and Cleveland Guardians first 5 plus a half minus 125 against Old Tubby.
I have 11 bets. The Phillies first 5 minus 1 is so square. Fuck, it's so square. Phillies first 5 minus 1 minus 104. Guardians first 5 plus half minus 120. Twins first 5 minus half minus 112. And then I had 4 bets on the Royals Reds game. First 3 under 2.5 minus 125. Full game under 8.5 minus 110. Reds first 5 minus half minus 115. Reds full game minus 1 minus 104. Giants first 3 plus 115 and Giants first 5 plus 105. That Giants first 3 has gone against me 5 cents. But the Giants first 5 I like the best. Angels first 5 minus a half. I probably should have gave that out as a birthday bet. I probably should have gave that one out to Adam Beck. Angels first 5 minus a half, and then Angels minus 1. And I'm not sure about how many additions there's going to be. I'm going to go. The Tigers. I'm going to add the Tigers most likely, but the first 5 over in Mets Seattle Mariners. I guess I think the markets just got me off of a bunch of spots that I was interested in. That's all right. It's all right. Take what the league gives you. So then I guess there's no more real additions. So, Jose, let's set up the big game 1 of the NBA. Oh, the first 3 over 2.5 in Texas, St. Louis. I think I have to start betting those spots. And then the Cubbies A's game throws me for a loop. The Pirates Astros game does as well. So those are 2 bets that I will add. But Jose, we have a giant basketball game that we need to discuss. Take it away.
Huge basketball game here tonight in the old 210, the Countdown City, as they call it. San Antonio Spurs, New York Knicks, NBA Finals Game 1. It feels crazy to say that for how far we've come, Jimmy, with this San Antonio Spurs team. And it felt so stupid at times being so confident in this Spurs team. And it's crazy to see them here this early, and it's awesome to see. There's 67% of the bets and 84% of the money on the Spurs here in Game 1. And Jimmy, we've talked about this many a time, and I've kind of been living by this rule. The Knicks, when's the last time they played a competitive basketball game? It's been quite a while. They've just been punching people in the face, winning by 20 plus, slapping each other's asses. And the San Antonio Spurs just came off of 7 hard-fought games against the Thunder, and luckily they get a few days of rest in between. Now, complicating factor in this is obviously the Spurs being just so happy to beat the Thunder. Wemby crying, that whole thing, I love to see it. Shout out to him. Was a little concerned, obviously, because I'm like, okay, we still have this game. But, like I'm sure you saw, Jimmy, or maybe it's only in San Antonio's Twitter, Dylan Harper, in the middle of, the celebrations, Coach Mitch Johnson is talking. He looks at Stephen Castle and Wemby, and he says, we have to get them back for the NBA Cup. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm riding with them. I think this San Antonio Spurs team wins in 6 games in the Garden. I think they win tonight, and I think they cover tonight, Jimmy. Please regale me with your thoughts.
It's such an interesting matchup here, and I'm really concerned about it. Mitch Johnson and Pop have to have something in mind, because watching the games between these 2 teams, there were real issues with the way the Spurs lined up defensively. It's going to be very different than Brunson is so different than Shea, because Brunson's going to fire threes. You hear a lot of people talking about betting Brunson threes and betting his either attempts or however they want to do it. Obviously, when Mitchell Robinson had the pinky injury, it was a celebration. If the Spurs
And
got them,
can I give you an update? Apparently it's not his pinky. Apparently it's his fifth metacarpal, which is a hand bone. So that also is very interesting. He's questionable for the game,
he's
obviously.
playing.
I thought that was fascinating. That I
Yeah.
read today that it might not be his pinky. It might be like in his hand, like the bone below there. So very interesting.
Raul Rogers says the hate that Jose has for the Yankees is quite awkward and weird, just like Jose is.
Well, I guess he's saying the shoe fits.
But here,
so gotta wear it.
So the issue is, we know that this Spurs were the number one defensive rebounding team in the league. So why were the Knicks able to be so efficient against the Spurs, offensively, and destroy them on the glass? And that has to be figured out. And I'm sure they have a plan for it. And we're not privy to that plan. The Spurs allowed during the regular season 110.4 points per 100 possessions. The Knicks put up 125 per 100 possessions against the Spurs. Only the Nuggets, and we know what the Nuggets do to the Spurs, only the Nuggets had a higher efficiency. That's a problem. That's a concern here. The rebounding is because they play the one-man zone with Wemby up at the top. And then the bigs have like Stephon Castle and Vassell on. I mean, if you look who is defending Cat the most in those 3 games, it was Castle and Vassell. It's a problem. It's a problem, and it's nerve-wracking. Mitchell Robinson is the key here. In that NBA Cup match, he had 15 rebounds in 18 minutes. Right now, Mitchell has grabbed 18.3% of available offensive boards when he's on the floor. That's the highest mark by any player in the playoffs by a huge margin. So they have to do something different. They have to do something different because we know what the Nuggets did to the Spurs all year long. And to have the Knicks right below that, it's a concern. And honestly, the deeper that I got into the game and into the series, the more I thought I should have bet more than 2K on that plus 1.5 games. So I'm nervous about the matchup. And I think we have every right to be. Now, we also have every right to believe that Mitch has a plan and Pop has a plan. They got a plan together. And it won't be what we saw in the NBA Cup, and we won't be what we saw. So what is it going to be? We're going to have to find out here. We're going to have to find out here. So it made the whole thing I'm nervous about. I'm nervous about. I mean, the problems on the glass are a huge issue. I mean, it's crazy to think the best rebounding team is going to get out-rebounded badly by the Knicks. It doesn't make sense. It's crazy to think the third best defensive team in the NBA this year is going to allow a team to go 125 points for 100 possessions. It's insane. So at this point, it's very exciting to have a possible 15K payout. But I'm going to look for middles. I'm really nervous. And I'm going to look for middles. And I've got 2K on the plus 1.5 games, and I'm going to look for more. Cash flow here, we just didn't quite touch on. We've seen this move go to 4.5. We've seen this move despite 67% of the tickets and 84% of cash on the Spurs. 58% of tickets, 55% cash on the over. Our guy Coin on the first half under. And, it's Goracle on the Knicks money line at plus 130. So the Goracle in the house. Flank stake play of the day is the Knicks money line as well. As I said, Coin on that first half under. And Robert Cherry is on the Knicks money line in the under 218.5. Thinks the Knicks steal game 1. Our guy 4th and 1 Entertainment. Harper over 16.5 PRA. Wemby double. Cat under 33.5 PRA. Cornette over 6.5 PRA. And Castle over 11.5 assists and rebounds. And I can't wait to watch the game. I'm so pumped up. I'm so excited. Now, we'll be lobby live with you guys on the nightly bag, so I won't be able to, we'll be kind of watching it. I'm not going to have it on. I'm going to focus on tomorrow's card, but it's a massive game. I'm very, very excited. I finally got one through the hoop in the futures for the Western Conference, and I'm hoping that we get another one through the hoop. It would clean up a lot of my mistakes. I can't wait for the game. Jose, are you betting game one? What's your plan?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take Knicks minus whatever I have right now. I forget if it's 4.5 or 5. Or excuse me, Spurs. I think I said Knicks, but
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to be on the Spurs here tonight. I just think that they come out and punch him in the mouth early. They've been. I also think first quarter is not a bad look either, but they've come out strong every game against the Thunder, and I think they're going to be oddly surprised. Like the guards are going to be like, "Whoa, the
Let me ask you
defense
this,
isn't what we thought we had."
Jose. I know that you got to run here, but let me ask you this: if the Spurs played the Nuggets in the Western Conference Final, do you think that the Spurs would be here in the NBA Final?
Yes, because the Nuggets were just a shell of themselves.
Even
You know,
against
like
the Spurs when they had the Spurs number? Because the only team, these are the two teams that had the Spurs number, the Nuggets and the Knicks.
I agree, but they weren't healthy. The Nuggets weren't. Like Aaron Gordon was just a half a man. He's arguably their most important player, so I think they would have beaten them. And I think if there's a fully healthy, not broken hand Mitchell Robinson, I'd feel much worse about the Spurs' chances. But I need to see it from Mitchell Robinson. You know what? I am pretty confident. And when it's not crunching time, Mitch, go up there, shoot these fucking free throws with one hand. You were terrible already. Go and shoot them with one hand now. But yeah, I'm pretty confident. I was surprised to see the Spurs were minus 200 to win. I thought it was going to be like minus 150, minus 200 to win the series. I was like, okay. Books have some confidence. Maybe this is some protection against Wemby mania.
You're right. That was a bigger line than one would have expected. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right with that. I agree completely. Coin saying in the finals, listen to this. The outright winner is 62-3-3 against the spread in the last 11 years. Wow, including 7-0 last year. Wow, that's incredible. Robert Franklin on OG under 15.5. We have the rest versus rust scenario here. And, what we expect is that the rest doesn't help in game one, but it helps very much in the series. And now OG's back and healthy. Jose, let's put a bow. Can you just put a bow on the program here with me? Because in the WNBA, I wanted to be on the tempo. I'm not going to, this line's just moving too far towards the Liberty. And it just, the line got me off the Mystics yesterday, but it's going to get me off of more losers than it's going to get me off of winners. I am on the Phoenix Mercury. Now, there's a concern, and Rod Zwacky brought up some really interesting angles as to why Seattle's in a great spot here, but the Mercury were just absolutely embarrassed and pummeled. They lost by 30-plus points. That's happened twice this year. Vegas lost by 30-plus, and Connecticut lost by 30-plus. They both covered easily in the next game. I'm on the Mercury minus 5.5, minus 110. If I wasn't 19-10 in WNBA to start the year off to a great start, I would say no. I think we should move on the tempo. I would keep him, but no, everything's too clean and too easy and too sharp right now. Mercury were just embarrassed. Now the problem is Storm just lost by 23, so it's it's not like they're feeling good about themselves. But the Mercury are coming in for blood. They're coming in for blood after that embarrassment. Those two games were tough games in New York. And then, to come home and just get lambasted. So I'm on the Mercury minus 5.5, minus 110. I'm not going to move on the tempo as it's now moved to 10.5. And I'm not betting individually the Knicks Spurs game. I don't think I'll do much of it. It's rare that I'm in a situation like this where I just decide exactly how much money I want to make at least. And I'm not going to do anything to mess it up, even if it's just, $300 at a time or something. I'm not going to do anything. So it's going to be fun breakdowns. I promise you that. And we got Jose cheering on the Spurs and look, 15K is not life-changing money. It's not bankroll changing money. It's nothing like that, but it cleans up a lot of mistakes. And you need that once in a while. And it's nice to get one through the hoop. And I want another one through the hoop. Thank you guys so much. We have the daily sesh popping off right after this. Dutch Boy Fresh back in action. Stacks play today. Duran over 1.5 bases. Number 2, Angels, Rockies over 8.5. Mark Staszowski on Cincinnati, Kansas City Royals, first 5 under 4.5. The Goracle on the New York Knicks, plus 130. Gamma Ray play today. Tampa Bay Rays on the run line, plus 140. And we went over flank stake and coins action. Adam Beck, happy birthday, man. Hope it's a great, great day. 42 for Adam Beck. I think that I gave the Giants first 5 money line as the birthday pick, but if I had sat with it longer, I would have probably said the Angels first 5 -1/2. But it is. We have Taint play today is the Braves double result. Kong's Clips play today is Peralta over 5.5 Ks and Skeens over 5.5 Ks, put together plus 123. Justin McKelvey, as always, thank you so much for rocking with us. The Goon Collector here. Thank you. The Nuke Worker, good luck, man. Loshak on your trail. Woo-hoo-hoo. Ooh, that's going to be so exciting. So we'll talk about the playoff pool each and every day. We'll get that updated. We'll talk about it each and every day before the Stanley Cup Finals. But that Nuke Worker, Loshak, and there's a huge swing, like a massive, massive swing because of the salty bonus. Coin, thank you. Walla Walla Dose, Robert Franklin, Geobed, Josh Witt. Thank you. Walla Walla Dose, AM, TJ, Nut Flush Allen. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Nasty Nate. Let's get this cash. Head over to the Daily Sesh right after this. Turnbuckle Tommy, Rod Zawacki, Big Drip James. Thank you guys so much for running with us. Jose, you want to bless our action and lead us into the future?
Yep. Good luck, everyone. It's nice to see you all in the chat here. And man, San Antonio winning this finals will be fun. It will be fun indeed. But either way, we'll have a lot of fun along the way. Let's go make some money tonight here. And Leche, a Los Bookmaker.
It's easier to sleep in the black when you're losing your ass and feeling so. You know what to do. Tune in to Pop Sports Radio. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's a roller coaster ride, you're gonna catch a bad beat. No problem, keep your head up and just bet the spreadsheet. It's easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. All thanks to Jeff Slaughter, these shows have our backs. POD's always rolling, especially the stats. Easier to sleep in the black. It's easier to sleep in the black. We got Jimmy, Jose, Dabby and the fam, Dutch Wine Time, Spooner and OG Wham. So hit the like button, don't say that you can't. If you know what's best, just put your money on tape.